to sign up for a Medicare prescription drug benefit. And it is under Medicare, it's not some outside program. It will be controlled through Medicare, and we want to strengthen it inside the system. What that will entail is that you will have, they estimate, about a $33 premium per month. There would be a $250 deductible that you would go up to. From then, the next $1,000, the Medicare would pay 80% of the cost of your drugs. The next $1,000, Medicare would pay 50% of the cost of your drugs. And what that means is the average Medicare recipient today spends about $2,150 on medications, and it would pay about 45% of the cost of your medications. And that would be on top of the savings immediately that you would realize due to the reduced cost of the drugs in general. So you're talking about a 30% reduction, and then Medicare paying 45%. Then there is a number of dollars that you would pay, getting up to $3,700 out-of-pocket expense, and then there would be a cap so that you would not pay any more of the drug costs after that. And I know that my 85-year-old mother, she has a couple concerns. Number one, the cost of drugs and getting some help for most people. And that's where that 45% of the first $2,000 would come in. Very important. But one thing that she is most concerned about is the fact that she and Dad worked all of their lives, saved money, and she is very concerned about the fact that an illness could wipe out everything that they've saved over their lifetime. And that part of it, I think, is extraordinarily important, that anyone in Medicare will have a drug benefit that will limit the amount of exposure that you have. The catastrophic part of it is, I think, extraordinarily important to everyone. People who are low income in receiving, say, Social Security, and this affects about 70% of the people who in that 150% of poverty level are senior women. So this is directed most at women in Medicare that draw Social Security. But there would be no premium for those folks at 150% of poverty, which would be about $14,000 a year as an individual, or about $20,000 as a couple in your family income. There would be no premium. The deductible would be paid by Medicare. There would be some co-payments on individual prescriptions that you have, but on a generic drug it'd be like $2. So I think it targets most of all the folks who are the lowest income, and it goes from 150 on a sliding scale up to 175% of poverty that would get a benefit as far as their premiums and the deductible itself. In Iowa also, you'll find that people who are at the poverty level, who are eligible today for Medicaid, they would not have any kind of, all they would ever pay would be a copay, like the $2 for individual prescriptions. And under anyone's plan, there will always be a copay on individual prescriptions, just so that there's not abuse in the system, that there is something that needs to be paid. But if you're eligible for Medicaid in Iowa, you would not have any costs at all. There would be no barrier as far as catastrophic costs at all. And one thing that's interesting about this, what it does in Iowa, is would save the Iowa state taxpayer about $337 million till the year 2012, because it'll take some of the pressure, which Medicaid has 60% state funds in it. And it would relieve some of the pressure on Medicaid in Iowa and free up, like I said, $337 million over until the year 2012. I don't know, Any questions? This is a back and forth situation here. So, just as important as the prescription drug benefit itself in Medicare is the fact that there are dollars in this bill that will go directly to the inequity that we have as far as reimbursement here in Iowa. And this is something that the 4 Republican members from the Iowa delegation have fought for, and we want a huge victory in this bill, in that there were scheduled reductions for home health care of about 15%. There were scheduled reductions for your doctors as far as reimbursements. The inequity as far as reimbursement for nurses, other healthcare professionals. Those have all been taken out, and in fact, we have about a 9% increase for home health care. There's an increase for doctors. There is a formula change as far as our hospital is concerned. And in addition, there's 5% a year additional payment made to our rural hospitals on top of the adjustment as far as the formula is concerned. So it is extraordinarily good news, and that is why the American Hospital Association supports what we're doing, the Iowa Hospital Association, the American Medical Association, your doctors support it, the physical therapists support it, the home health care industry supports what we're doing, and it is a huge victory for Iowa, what we've done. But I'll tell you, we fought very hard. As you probably all know, the House of Representatives is a very urban body. That's where the votes are. And so we fought. We just said we would not vote for anything that did not address Iowa's problem, and we were very, very successful in what we came up with this past year, so this past week. And my hope now is that we can get this done this year so that you can get the benefit now. That is extremely important as far as I'm concerned. Not something that's pie in the sky off in the future, someday, you know, maybe, and the other proposals that are out there wouldn't start till 2005, and the one proposal starting in 2005 will end in 2010. It doesn't make any sense. This is an absolute permanent assistance for people on a prescription drug. So, anyway, questions or comments? Yes, sir.
What's your feeling about how the Senate's going to act on this?
Well, the Senate has a bill also, and that's the one that would, you know, our bill in total costs about $350 billion over 10 years. Theirs would be about $600 billion, and that's the one that starts in 2005 and ends in 2010. I would hope that they would pass something over there so that we can get to conference. And because of the budget parameters that we have, I think you're going to see them come to the realization that doing something now is very, very important, and hopefully we can get an agreement. Just like the President said, he wants to sign something that's effective immediately and will help seniors today. But you know, you never know. There's over 50 bills piled up over the Senate's door right now that they haven't moved on, that we've passed in the House. But, yes, sir.
What is the figure for poverty level income?
It would be, you know, at 150% of the poverty level, which would be as an individual about $13,000. There would be no premium and no deductible. That would be for an individual, and that's what about 70% of those people are senior women.
Well, they're projecting a deal in Washington where they're going to raise the Social Security for $400 billion. How's that going to affect it? I don't know if you, that would not have, I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to outside of the debt limit was raised, but